Hey there, friends and enemies, JoPa here again, and I went flawless solo in Destiny 2 Trials of Osiris today. It was a lot of fun using a very cheesy Strand warlock loadout that I'll get into in a second. And Bungie actually decided to reward me with a cracked the Immortal SMG. This thing is insane already, even with not very good rolls, so I definitely recommend farming for it. But I got target lock, rangefinder, ricochet rounds, hammerforge rifling, and a ranged masterwork on my first adept roll. And you can see it in the video. It was insane. My RNG is absolutely phenomenal this season since Lightfall dropped. I do have the conditional finality shotgun from the new raid already. I got that on my first run, and that's what I was actually using with my Strand loadout because this thing is not the best PvP shotgun in the game, but it's a lot of fun and it's actually very, very consistent. I love using it. I'm not really much of a shotgunner in PvP, but this thing is just so much fun to use that I have a hard time taking it off. And so, because I'm using this stasis and solar shotgun, it doesn't benefit from any of the artifact perks. It doesn't benefit from being a strand weapon. That's what I was trying to use when I first went into Trials this weekend. And I actually got to 6 wins with 1 loss. That was my mercy twice this weekend. One time with a buddy, one time solo. So this is my 3rd time, and I finally got solo flawless. And it's when I switched to the shotgun that I really started to have more success. I was using stuff like Quicksilver Storm or Rufus's Fury. Those were good, but honestly, I then swapped over to the BXR Battler, and this thing was just melting. I don't know why I have waited so long. I've never really been a big pulse rifle person. I prefer sidearms, SMGs, and ARs. That's just a personal preference of mine. But the BXR is insane, and I finally started using it, and I see how good it is. I have perpetual motion and kill clip on it. Combined with my shotgun, it just feels like I can engage at all different levels. I'm not really a shotgun rusher, right? I don't like to push into players, especially in trials, right? Where revives are so important to the flow of the game. You can be playing well personally in trials, but if you're not playing off your team, if you're rushing in, you get a kill, and then the second player kills you, but they're able to get the res, and you're too far back, your teammates, and they're not able to guard the reses, it's a lost cause. So that's why I don't really like shotgun rushing unless I'm playing in a team. When I'm playing solo and I don't know what the hell my teammates are going to do, I tend to not do that as much. Instead, I try to control the battlefield. So what I do is I have my threadling build for my warlock. I've got my swarmers, all that kind of stuff. I will consume my grenade, generate the stored threadlings, and then I will either start engaging with my BXR and try to send them out that way. Or if I have somebody rushing me with a shotgun and I don't have my shotgun out, I will pop my rift and all my threadlings will kind of scatter and start chasing people all at once. And this leads to an insane interaction where you'll see just threadlings everywhere. I've gotten entire kills on people just with threadlings and not with any weapon damage or anything else. That's how powerful they can be when you have a lot of them. The problem is if you only have 1 or 2 hitting them, it's just kind of a tickle. You have to make sure you either are finishing them off with a threadling. You'll see that in some of the gameplay where I tied around because my threadling just chased the guy down after I got him weak and stuff like that. So the gameplay loop is actually a lot of fun. I'm able to play in the middle more, which I can do on like my Void Titan, but I haven't really been able to do on a Warlock as much because I don't have a barricade. But because of this build, because of the threadlings really pushing everybody off of me and using the shotgun, that does feel very, very consistent. I'm able to control the middle of the area oftentimes and use my BXR to try to cut off the angles so they're not able to flank as much as they might otherwise be able to. Oftentimes what you'll see is players will push in a direction and then they'll get flanked from both sides, and because of that they'll maybe get one of those enemies, but the other enemies from the other side are able to take them down. Especially if you're playing with randoms, you have no communication, you kind of got to go it alone. And I'll fully admit that I'm not the best PvP player, especially because I am a Titan main and wanted to do this on my Warlock, so I had to play a bit differently. But all in all, I was still able to go flawless completely solo in the new pool. That's the other thing I wanted to test. I have oftentimes queued in the freelance node in trials to try that out. And this actually felt a little bit better to me, solo and duo. I played both over the weekend, and both of them felt like they were more consistent with the teams that I was matching, right? When I was playing solo in the freelance pool, oftentimes I would have insanely good players and players who are not all that good. Whereas this one felt like it was almost more even, more consistently. That might be just anecdotal on my experience, but like I said, I played a lot of games this weekend and I really enjoyed it. So that's just my personal experience. The rest of my build, I didn't really build this out. Like I was still running a lot of my PvE mods, which I didn't realize. I'm running like Heavy Ammo Finder and Strand Siphon, which I didn't realize until far too late into my run. Like I was already done with trials when I realized I hadn't, because I thought I had swapped my loadout with the new loadout system, but I must not have. So I didn't have my PvP build on. And so that was really funny too. Even my fragments, right? I'm running like Thread of Finality for finisher final blows and stuff like that. And obviously that doesn't come into play at all. And or Thread of Rebirth, Strand weapon final blows have a chance to create a thread. Like, I'm not running a Strand weapon, so it doesn't really matter. That doesn't help me out at all. And I still was able to go solo flawless, which I felt really good about, especially after falling at the gates twice. So I think trials this week was probably the most fun I've had in a long time. In the game mode, I know there's people who question the flawless pool. It actually helps me out as a solo player who didn't have a team this weekend. I had one other player for a little bit, but I'm a better player than my teammate was. So it just makes it hard to play with some people without the flawless pool, to be honest. I played a little bit on Saturday, and it was a lot of people who were already having the adept SMG before I was able to get it, and it just put me behind the 8 ball because I was late to the party. That's just my thoughts on trials a little bit. I know it's a game mode that's very divisive. I know there's a lot of carries and people doing helps in the community, which I think is up and down as far as how much I like it. It's good that people are helping other people, but I think the reliance on carry culture can be a bit of a problem. But I recommend that you try different things with your loadouts and trials. See how it works. Don't throw. Like, obviously, I was having enough success to go solo flawless with this, so I wasn't in too bad a shape. But yeah, those are my thoughts on the weekend. I can't wait to try out this brand new SMG. It's absolutely insane. I can't wait to use it in Iron Banner this week. And I'm really excited for Iron Banner personally. It'll be nice to have 3 weeks of it and have a different mode each and every week. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. My name is JoPa. Definitely stay subscribed. Subscribe if you haven't already. Helps me out so much. And I'm having loads of Destiny content going forward. I hope you have a good one, and I'll catch you all later.